These are just like the 5 key elements of an effective reach out message. Number 1, lead with value, but be specific. Don't just say like, hey, love your stuff. Anyway, like, that's so generic. And then also I've had people like literally copy and paste the title of an episode of one of my shows from my website and put it in their email. Like the formatting is literally different. Like it's my website formatting and they just copied and pasted it and put it in their email without even like worrying about like, hey, paste and match style. You know what I mean? So it's just like, okay, you obviously have never consumed a single piece of my content. Number 2, give some information, but do it in a limited amount of words. So whatever information that you can give, keep it short, sweet, and to the point, but give them the opportunity to like go somewhere else if they do want to read more about it. So like I'll just put a hyperlink on my show. So for me specifically, it's just like, hey, I have this show, it's called Build Your Network. And then I will hyperlink Build Your Network to my website. So if they want to go look at more information and figure out everything about me and my whole life story, they can, but I'm not going to throw that in the email. Number 3, build a meaningful request. Like I'll say one hard no on this. Stop asking people if you can pick their brain. I don't know a single person that has like limits on their time that responds well to that question. Not one single person. So like if you're asking people to like pick their brain or asking them to a virtual cup of coffee, like stop that, knock that off.
We're not a pick and pull.
Like
I really want a carburetor. Can I look for one inside your brain somewhere?
You gotta realize that like, look, people are strapped for time. Like if like Brandon is a nice guy, trust me, I'm talking to him right now. Like he's a nice dude, but like, he doesn't have time to hop on 20-minute pick your brain phone calls for every single person that reaches out, or he would never do anything with his time other than that. Number 4, offer credibility. The more credible that you are, the more likely you are to get a response.
Yes.
So if you personally don't have any credibility, then you can borrow credibility from people that you've associated with, which is like the magic for me. That's where the magic happens on my show. Because like, so literally when I reached out to you, Brandon, I probably did this because I do this for every single person I reach out to. It was most likely on Instagram. And what I most likely did is I probably went to the people that you follow on Instagram and I listed every single person that you follow I've had on my show and put them in my reach out message on purpose. So even if there's like 17 people or 23 people, I will list every single freaking person because I think the credibility piece is the biggest piece of the whole.
That is so good.
So like I literally will go to like your profile and be like, hey, he follows Jay Papasan, he follows Grant Cardone, he follows this person, this person, this person, this person. Everybody that's been on my show, like he follows these 11 people. So in my reach out message, after I've led with value, after I've given some information on myself, built a meaningful request, I'll offer a little bit of credibility. Hey, just FYI, here's a few people that have already been on, and I'll list all the people that I know that you know because you follow them. And then I hit that point home. And then at the end, I'll say something like, would love to add you to this, awesome lineup or something like that. And number 5, always finish it off with a thanks in advance. I always, anytime I'm asking for something in a message, reach out, email, Instagram, whatever it is, I always finish it with thanks in advance. And here's why. My dog Snowball encapsulates this better than like anything. So I always use her as an example. She's this 140-pound Great Pyrenees Anatolian Shepherd mix. She looks like a giant white lab, and she's like the sweetest, dopiest, like huggable teddy bear of a dog that you've ever seen. So sometimes when I walk by her, she will like not move her head at all. She just like looks up at me, like glances up with her eyes and like catches my eye. And as soon as she catches my eye, she starts wagging her tail before I do anything. And even though I probably wasn't even intending on leaning over and scratching her, I feel like I kind of got to do it now because she's already wagging her tail. And am I really going to be like disappointing her like that? Like it makes me feel bad. So it's the same exact thing when you say something like thanks in advance. You're thanking someone in advance for already acquiescing to the request that you made earlier. So what it does is it subconsciously creates a desire to like finish that loop and perform that task that you've already thanked them for. But yeah, those are my 5 things. So lead with value, give information, credibility, meaningful request, thanks in advance, and then toy around with it, play around with it.
All right. So while you were doing that, I pulled up the original message I got from you. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'll sum up, right?
Okay.
So I'll tell you how you did this so beautifully, right? It's like, hey, Brandon, my name is Travis. My buddy Jared Butterfield said he told me you'd be reaching out, right? So now I got a guy that you basically pulled in, somebody I already knew and trusted. I don't even know how I met Jared originally, but We know each other from years back. I think we're Facebook friends, whatever. Anyway, you brought in his name. So now I'm instantly like, oh, okay, it's a recommendation to connect, right? And I think he said he told you I'd be reaching out. So you got, at some point, he connected me to you, right? Probably on Instagram. Then 2 reasons I wanted to reach out. First of all, I'm a huge fan of your show. You're one of the first podcasts I ever listened to.
Lead with value.
And then I have a podcast called Build Your Network where I interview people on the show. Some of the people have been, some people in the past, Grant Cardone, Kevin Harrington, Ed Milet, Lori Harder, JP Sears, John Lee Dumas, Jordan. Yeah, I mean, all these people, like Chris Gillibo, I follow all of them. I currently have Amy Porterfield, Jack Canfield, and Jay Papasan on the schedule. But I'd love to add you to the lineup. All people that I follow and like. And then you end it. I have a recommendation for your show as well. One of my mentors has made millions in real estate. I think he'd be great. Let me know when a good time to talk is. Thank you in advance, Brandon. Right? And you know how I responded to that? I don't know if you remember this. I said, I can't do it. I said, I'm too busy. I'm moving to Hawaii right now. I can't do it.
That's right.
I said, can you follow back up in a few months? Guess what? 2 months later, you followed back up with an email that you took a screenshot of your show being ranked like number 151 on all iTunes. And it was just like a subtle like, hey, you know, my show's a big deal, right? Like that credibility.